You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Rewind.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. You know why you're here, don't you? The dead girl. And this. What exactly were you thinking? You have one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time? It's a rhetorical question. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else. This person. This is who. Understood? Splendid. If someone so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated.
Deprecated.
We expect you to use your ability. Just don't get caught. And never, ever change into a child.
In brighter news, August resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch, Barley. The 8-month-old Basset Hound puppy was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house. There are some rules. In particular, no shoes in the guest house. The carpet's priceless. Now, how long are you staying for? That's fine. It's yours for as long as you want it. There's not been many visitors of late. Perhaps the murder will bring some tourists in. It's just you and some tarot readers at the moment. It's deathly quiet. Yes, the murder. You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you? Chief Dupont. He's the one who booked the room for you. You look lost. You should probably go and speak to the chief. Your room is just down the hall, last on the left. It has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Just finishing. You don't believe? That's okay. Sometimes life is just a stream of coincidences. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. Pleased to meet you, Sam. If you'd like a reading. So, what's your question, Sam? The Fool. I'm going to see a lot more of you, aren't I, Sam? Enjoy the journey. But remember, not everything is winnable. I'm in room 1 and that's down the hall. Lorraine's in 2, Lexi's in 3. And which room are you in, Sam? Mysterious. But I know you're in room 4, Sam. Don't do anything I wouldn't do in there.
Brought in today. What do you think it is?
Oh, wow.
Tell the listeners a bit more about what the object is that I brought in today.
So it's quite small, fits in the palm of your hand, and it's a small man wearing robes, and he looks like he's in quite a lot of pain.
Yes. Where could he be from, this man?
I'm not sure, actually. He's maybe a Buddhist?
Several were made, apparently. But as far as I can tell, I have the only one.
Well, I wish I hadn't seen this.
Poe's Curiosity Shop is now closed.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector Dupont. I wasn't sure you'd come, but I suppose you're between jobs? Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam, that's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw, 21, accomplished cellist, redhead. Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers. Yes. Keep up, Sam. That's the girl who was murdered? Because they predicted it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up. It all sounded crazy to me. Tarot, the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs. To be honest, I thought she'd probably been smoking something, and that's why I didn't take it seriously. Because things, I don't have enough on her. That's where you come in. The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside. Can you do it? Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But you help me out, I'll help you. You don't get that. There's no badge and gun, just a hope and a promise. Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it. In her bedroom. She was naked. Strangled. No signs of sexual activity of any kind. It was a weird scene to look at. There was one thing, but it's strictly between you and me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being serious now, Sam. Not a word of this. It's the one thing only the killer would know. What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship at Juilliard. It was in the local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself. Don't read the paper, do you? Yesterday, Monday the 9th at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner, we got a call from the mother just after 10 p.m. Born here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you? She told you she's taking pills, didn't she? Let me handle Violet. She didn't kill anyone. Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigating?
Heard her. They never do. All humans don't want to die. But more than that, humans don't want to be in pain. So she succumbed to the sickness, or tried at least. Girls almost never get it right on the first try. Her red hair fanned out around her pillow as she laid back, holding the bottle above her, note on the pillow beside her, her final bedfellow. Pills don't hurt, right? She'd been like this that day, rationalizing to the demon parasite in her heart. Of course they don't. You'll sleep, and it'll be over. What's it matter anyway? Yeah. And the bottle opened in her hand.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already? Not really. I'm sure she was a precious lamb, though. Yes, a lamb. Young. Innocent. Lambs get slaughtered, though, don't they? Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest. Sorry. I'm gossiping. I don't want to talk ill of the dead. Ask her boyfriend. Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already. They're tarot readers. I'm thinking of asking them to leave, actually. Demands already? I'm only thinking of doing it. It's the strangest thing. I honestly don't remember. But I imagine I was here or getting groceries somewhere. I've driven by it, never actually been in it.
No one would go to your funeral. You'd be better off. So would your father and sister. There was nothing here. A little lying goes a long way after the virus.
You must be a new guest. Or you're burglaring us. I'm Rain, by the way. Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way. So it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me. I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair, a talented musician. No, not at all. You're completely barking up the wrong tree there. Spoken like the true killer, posing as a detective, trying to frame someone else for the murder. We did a reading. A group reading, actually, with a special tarot deck. The three of us get together and read the same cards. Bronwyn says it makes the whole thing stronger or more powerful or something, but I'm pretty sure I'd get the same answers just on my own. Mercury? It's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves kind of change. It's a special deck. I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it. I was in my room. Praying, actually. I don't believe in God, but I was still praying. It didn't work. I don't believe in anything. But I also believe anything is possible, so it's a conundrum.
Bed sheets. That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah, nobody takes that amount of care nowadays. But this particular...
Sam, is it? I'm sensing you're not here for a reading. In my room, reading. I found a trashy romance novel under the bed. I'm assuming it's Violet's. It's all swooning heroines and brooding vampire Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me. No, not at all. Lexi popped in and we chatted for a bit, but that's all. I said the book was trashy. Look at this place. If her guest house is anything to go by, Violet's the opposite of trashy. Mercury? Sure. I'll just get it. It feels a bit sacrilegious just spreading it out to show you. It doesn't really answer questions, it more asks them. Do you want it to ask you a question, Sam? It wants to know if you're happy being the person you are now. Mercury doesn't agree. In fact, if anything, and I could be wrong, it's suggesting that you're not even the person you're saying you are now. I've only had that reading once before. We saw it in the cards, not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful. Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know. Chief Dupont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise. I didn't. We've only been here 2 days. I understand it's suspicious me being a stranger in town, but it's the truth. We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team.
Closed.
Dreams
And nightmares.
with Poe and Monroe. So we've just had a dream come in from Lena. Well, if I'm honest, Lena, it sounds a bit of a nightmare.
Nightmares.
Firstly, thank you for writing this one in. She says, I dream that I'm in a strange house, but in the dream it's my house, and I'm discovering lots of empty rooms I'd forgotten I had. Every time I find a new room, there's another room leading off it. But then I start noticing all these holes in the room, big dark holes in the walls with bugs crawling out of them until the whole room is covered in bugs. I don't know about you, Poe, but I don't really like the sound of that very much.
That is very creepy, but it's kind of my territory. It's very Poe-esque.
Absolutely.
Different rooms.
Hi, Sam, is it? Come on in, make yourself at home. Mi casa es su casa. Come on. I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Good old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is? Everybody thinks that. It's such a cliché. The death card doesn't even mean death. Most of the time. The Five of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want no matter the cost. Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know, swords in general are bad. She's like my big sister, so pretty well. No. The cards told us to. Well, the cards and rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do. I didn't say job. I said job. Okay, we make a cheese obelisk, a chob, and depending on the shape of that chob, we get different answers to questions. No, you don't. I was in my room all night with Bronwyn. We were painting our nails. No, I mean, yeah, I've already cleaned it off.
Bedraggled hair with seaweed, and tentacles, each topped with an eyeball, only they weren't, except for a moment. The head was a monstrous mouth of a... There it was. From its victims. There it floated, and then it turned, push, and there was a long expanse of the room. Footsteps echoed on wood, the spinal shiver of pursuit up by a nightmare. A cold gaze grasped at my back.
Find somewhere safe to transition. You're not a superhero.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I'm Bronwyn.
To wear, like a shell for hermit crab. I agreed to help the bag lady with its disguise. Yes, I agreed to help. I thought to the bag lady that it will do no good for its disguise to float, since human beings don't float, except in water, and its disguise would be less unsettling if it had eyes, and were less of a corpse. But the entity did not understand the concept of water or air, floating or standing, living or dead. These things were all alien to it and meaningless. He had lived a life of addiction, survived on a steadily dwindling income from prostitution as age, drugs, and street.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
The worm didn't go down, but up. Up.
Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers have mentioned a job. We don't know what. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, and you found out she's taking pills. Perhaps they're related. That's it. Do I have an alibi for last night? Do I? Okay. I was here, and there are video monitors that will prove it. Thanks for ruling me out, genius.
Life with the bag lady's worm inside my brain. Small talk with the servers at the restaurant. Not this one, the worm had to be told incessantly. Not these ones, the worm had to be told as people strolled past on the sidewalk. Not this one, the worm had to be told when talking with coworkers in asset management.
It's 6 o'clock and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe.
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Better than the street or the shelters, a building with a vacant penthouse. George wanted to know if I was the owner, so I said yes, which is true in a way. And we went to the top floor of that building.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
The bag lady appeared and changed forms, and the screams lasted just a moment, maybe a fraction of a second, before George was gone. Then the bag lady floated there, silent and saddened, while I watched from the crack of the closet. I always watch from inside the closet.
You don't trust me, do you, Violet? Is it because I read tarot? Why don't you let me pull a card for you?
No, thank you. Okay. No, thank you.
Okay.
Did you sleep well last night?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't see you yesterday evening.
I stayed in my room. You can ask Lexi. That reminds me, I think I found a book of yours. It's called He Came Through the Shadows.
What makes you think it's mine?
Your name's written on the inside cover.
From an ancient burial ground called Saqqara. This particular one has traces of the same limestone.
Mrs. Gallagher, an unexpected pleasure.
How long are you planning to be here?
In town? I really don't know. Until the tarot tells us to leave, or you kick us out, obviously.
How did you know Dorota was going to die?
We didn't know she was definitely going to die, only that she was definitely in danger of dying. Tarot cards can tell you a lot when you know what you're looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Where could he be from, this man?
I'm not sure, actually. He's maybe a Buddhist?
Yeah, could be, yes.
Um,
What would you say is his profession?
Something religious, I suppose.
Yes,
He's wearing
a monk.
robes. He's wearing a monk, yes.
Well done.
But why is he in pain?
Hello, Violet. Is everything okay? Ignore the mess. I was just going to tidy it up.
Did you have a pleasant evening last night?
Great, thanks. The room's really lovely.
But you weren't in this room, were you? I didn't see you around yesterday evening. But you...
Oh no, was I sleepwalking again? I haven't done that since... for ages. I didn't come into your room, did I?
No.
Oh, thank God. I'll try not to let it happen again.
She must be dead. No one can breathe that long underwater. Then she opens her eyes, and I realize it's not.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
At least the person she's observing in the dream is not, or does not want to face the world.
Who knows whether you've made the right decision or not, Claude?
How's Bronwyn been? What were you doing? How's Bronwyn been?
Overly nice. She's covering her tracks well if she has anything to hide.
What was it I asked you to do again?
You just told me to report back to you if I noticed anything suspicious. Good grief, Claude. You're a bit young to be losing your marbles already.
What were you doing last night?
Claude, we've been through this. I honestly don't remember. I checked my diary and there's no entry, so I was probably here, as always.
How can you not remember, Violet?
I don't know. Which is exactly what I said in my statement. Don't try and get me to contradict myself.
Hope that Alex let you find someone to reach out to. But thank you again for sharing with us.
Oh, I'm so impressed again. Monroe, it's...
Chief DuPont, what a pleasant surprise. I think we've covered just about everything twice over, but if you think I'm hiding something...
Who are you really, Bronwyn Castle?
Does it bother you, Chief DuPont, knowing there are things in this world that aren't black and white? You don't know what to file me under, and that makes you uncomfortable. Or perhaps you've already made up your mind about me. Why don't you tell me who you think I am?
You're a con artist.
I haven't asked anyone for a penny.
These ones have an inverted full crown, which gives a ghastly sound. We're not going to reproduce that here now.
Good evening, Chief Dupont.
Dorota's family, what does the tarot say about them?
I can do a reading, if you want.
Yes.
It's the Five of Cups. It talks about loss and dealing with that loss. I don't think you need a tarot reader to interpret that one.
Bronwyn never been arrested?
Not since I've met her. She's a lawful good type character, if you play D&D.
Lexi ever been in trouble with the police?
No. Not to my knowledge. She's sweet and innocent. Or haven't you picked up on that yet?
You're listening to Radio August.
Oh, Chief Inspector, you gave me a shock. What is it? What have I done?
Tell me about Bronwyn. Why? What were you doing last night?
Nothing. I mean, I was here all night. This cat's on her. Bron can vouch for me.
Tell me about Bronwyn.
Well, it's not for the nightlife, I can tell you that. This is where the cards told us to go. I guess you could call it destiny.
Do you know anyone here? What's wrong with the nightlife?
There isn't any. And sometimes a girl needs a party.
Tell me about Bronwyn.
She's an Aquarius, her favourite colour is green. What else do you need to know?
Is she your leader?
Leader? This isn't a cult. She looks after me and Rain. Make sure we eat healthy and brush our teeth.
Kitchen. One robin, several blackbirds, usually downy fledglings with wide beaks and tails that hadn't even grown yet. Cack, it's only protest. He'd had to put that one out of its misery. He put all of them.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Self up. Its back legs lay helplessly on the floor. No, no, no. Ivan dropped down next to the kitten. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. Tears blurred his vision. He stroked the kitten with the side of his finger.
Who are you? Right, because the local police are so rubbish.
It's been a day, a whole day. It's typical of them. Yeah, I went round there in the afternoon. Her parents were at work, and we were, you know, hanging out. I left at about 5. Playing football. It was just 5-a-side. Finished at about 9:30. I called her, but she never picked up. Not long, a couple of months maybe. We did care for each other. No one. She was really popular.